up the hip hop. Hook up for cash, I gotta give me a beat. Get on the stage and let the hit drop. I seen the local hits flop. My talent's never a question, and out of town they steady screaming that my shit's hot. The radio will get pop. That's why I'm changing the station. Man, they only play the songs that's quick to get dropped. They trying to keep the shit locked. So I'ma get up out of town with the game and let my homies know it don't change. Steady writing, keep it real for the underground.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Thuggin Chef. I know everybody was waiting to see when I was going to do another one, but here we go. You know, we got something real special today. We're going to go ahead and do the crispy pan fried chicken with the white wine, mushroom, and thyme cream sauce, the roasted red pepper and chive couscous. And you know what? Let's go ahead and hook that up with a few sauteed asparagus tips. Now, come on in. You know, come on in. Don't be scared. Mi casa su casa. Now, I got everything in place here. You know, if you want to do this recipe at home, feel free to. I'm going to do it right here with you right now. What we got here? We got some fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now, you can have your butcher cut these up for you, or you can do it yourself. I did those myself. And we've got some nice garlic, shallots, some cremini mushrooms. We've got some fresh thyme here. A little bit of chopped parsley for garnish. Got my asparagus tips that I'm going to saute up, and I've got some chives, and I've got everything in order here. Chicken stock, half and half. It's a real simple recipe. So, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my burner on high, and I'm going to go ahead and add my olive oil. It's going to take a little bit for it to heat up. I'll probably put about a half a cup in there. Then I'm going to add about a half a cup of canola oil. Reason being that olive oil will burn on you, so you want to kind of just go ahead and mix it up with a little bit of canola oil. Okay, here we go. Now, you notice you don't see any Johnnies or any Lowrys up here, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken breast. I'm going to hit them with a nice, generous amount of salt. A little bit of fresh black pepper. Then I'm going to flip those over. There's no Lowrys, no Johnnies, okay? Just kosher salt and fresh black pepper. Because what you want to do is you want to taste the food, and that's all it is. That's all you're doing with the salt and pepper. It's a real simple seasoning, and you're just bringing out the flavor of the food. And that's what it's all about right here. So, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put my chicken breast in the flour. Now, if you really want to impress somebody, definitely cook this dish. Fellas, you know, you want to have a nice young lady come over and you want to cook her something nice to eat, cook this and you will seal the deal. I promise you. Ladies, you want to cook something up for your man? Go ahead and hook up the crispy pan fried chicken with the white wine and the mushroom and thyme cream sauce. And I'll tell you right now, he'll be telling all his friends how good you can cook. And everything else you can do good. I'm just playing. Anyways, let's get back to it. Now, my oil should be heating up nice. It's probably it's not ready yet. It's just about there. You know, and it's not hard. A lot of people think fine dining is hard. This isn't even really fine dining. It is just eating good, basically. And it's not hard to do. Real simple. You can get all of these things right here at the grocery store. Now, while we're waiting for that oil to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and give you a tip on working with fresh thyme. Now, you can get this at Safeway or any grocery store. Fresh thyme, Thyme, for those of you who are skipping class so you could go blaze. And when you store it, you can just get a wet paper towel and go ahead and wrap it up in there. Now, a lot of people don't know how to work with thyme. You just take the stem, you take it out of there, and you just pull it against there like that. You know what time it is. And it comes right off of the stem very easily. And then you can chop that up finely and use it at the end of your dish. Because when you're working with fresh herbs, you want to put that in at the end so you can get the full flavor. When you put it in at the beginning, it just loses a lot of its flavor, and you don't want that. You're trying to keep the flavor, right? So, I think our oil is nice and hot here. Let's check it. Just about, not quite ready yet. Now, what I got here, I went ahead and I already did the roasted red pepper and chive couscous. We're just gonna heat that up there in a little bit before we serve it. It was really easy. I just took some red peppers, cut them in half, put a little bit of kosher salt, black pepper, some olive oil. That's it. It was a wrap. You know, bake them in the oven at about, I'd say about 350 to 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and it just really intensifies the flavors of those red peppers. And then you take it out. You can go ahead and peel the skin off, or you can leave it on if you like. It's up to you. Chop it up nicely, put your fresh chives in at the end, and it's delicious. Now, our skillet is ready to go here. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my chicken breasts in skin side down because I want it to get really nice and crispy there in that hot oil. Oh yeah, that's nice. Skin side down. And you can leave it on high. You just got to be really careful because it'll burn on you. It will burn. And you don't want to burn the food, because that's not going to be good, and you won't seal the deal, fellas. And ladies, your man will be out at the club that night trying to kick it at HD Hotspurs or something on Tuesday tequila nights. Now, I've got it on high still, and I'm just letting that get nice. I'm going to let that get nice and brown.
I want to see you move.
Now, if you think that it's getting a little bit too hot and you don't want to work with a high heat, you can turn it down a little bit, just a little bit though, because mainly you want to keep it hot. If it's not hot, it's going to end up just really oily. So I'm just going to really pay attention to that. Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good. Now, I like to use this much oil because I like to get a nice crispy skin, but you don't have to use this much oil. And if you want to use boneless, skinless chicken breast, feel free to do that. I like the skin on mine. You know what I'm saying? That's the good part. Now these are going really good. I'm going to take it off of there for a minute. But I'm going to leave my burner up nice and hot. And you see what's happening here? Go ahead and leave it on high, but this is my method. It's still cooking. It's still cooking fast. It's still cooking hot. Oh yeah. Now let's take a look at that. I took it off of there. If I would have left it on the eye, it would have burnt up. Come here. I'll take a look at these. These are nice and brown. It's getting nice and dark brown there. I'm getting that skin really nice and crispy. Still cooking. Be careful now when you're roaming around the kitchen with that hot skillet in your hand too. Tell people to just stand back and let you get down. And that's how it's going down today on the Thuggin Chef. Now what I'll do is I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to turn that down because I'm going to turn my chicken over. And this is where it gets really good. Actually, what I'm going to turn off a little bit over here. So now I've got my chicken breast. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer actually. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. Let it get a little bit, because I got kind of some thick pieces of chicken here. Now what you can do, you can finish it on top of the stove, or after you turn it over, let it cook a little bit more, you can put it off in the oven. Okay. Now my chicken, when you're working with white meat, it tends to get a little bit dry, but if you do it like this here, the outside, get it nice and crispy. Now, check it out here. I've got my chicken just how I want it. Nice and dark brown. So I'm going to turn that over. Oh, look at that. Nice and crispy on top, dark brown. And this is a trick. There's a trick to it. Now I'm going to turn it down a little bit here because now I'm going to let it just go kind of slow like that. Not too low though, because I don't want the chicken to soak up the oil. What you can do here, if you like, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drain a little bit of that oil out. So be sure you keep those nice brown pieces of chicken in there. The flour that goes on the bottom, that's where you get your flavor, your seasoning. Now I've got it on medium now. Turn it down. I'm actually going to take it off here because the burner's still kind of hot. But this is a method you can use, and it's really a great way to cook. It's how like Chinese people like to cook on high.